Okay, once you've finished reviewing exceptions, you're pretty sure your data has been scrubbed. You can start interpreting or looking at your data in more detail. So if we go to this button up here, Easy Survey, it'll launch another window which is to help you both build reports and determine how you want to present that data. So we use some of the stock reports, and what I'm going to do is just walk through some of these. So the detailed item analysis report is what we're going to look at first. So I click on that, and I get a breakdown of all of my data in each of the categories. So in this class, I feel important or ignored, 1 being important and 5 being ignored. We have basically a central peak with a plateau over here on the left, and so on. You can see each of these graphs and then page through them using this button up here. So for the detailed item analysis report, you have 11 pages to go through. Involved in lessons, notice my data set is 37 replies over 2 classes. That's a little less than half replies from each class. Wait, no. 30 and 30 to be 60. It's a little under 2/3 of a reply rate, which I suppose is pretty good. It might be nicer to get a better reply rate, but that's okay for this example. In this class, I feel part of a team, fairly flat. So you get some idea of the response, the frequency, and the percent of responses that you have. Notice too that if a question was not answered, it's marked missing, and those are also perhaps a significant portion of your data that you want to keep an eye on. All right, I like the item analysis graph report because it tends to succinctly put on one page what you're looking at. So the item analysis graph report shows the spectrum, important to ignored, 1 to 5, for each of these, and it gives the response percentages as well. So you're looking for any kind of outstanding information and any trends in your data. What you would normally do is you would normally email or print this report. However, printing has been restricted in the demo version. So you have to content yourself with either screen captures or looking at your data all at once. Notice too that you can see that 59% of my respondents were first period and 40% were 7th period. So so you can see that I've got a little bit of spread there in my data. I have 2 data points for my classes. Oh, that's item analysis graph report. Let's look at condensed item analysis report. This one is going to give us just a real quick and dirty representation of where the items were for each of those categories again. And now it's a little bit easier for you to see kind of relative trends. Maybe a bimodal here, sensitive, insensitive, etc. So we're walking through some of the reports that you can create. The basic item analysis report is going to give you, for each question, the mean answer to the question and the frequencies for each answer. This is perhaps something that you could put into Excel if you wanted to graph some of the things yourself. That's the basic item analysis report. Item statistics report is going to tell us what your sample size for each question is, what the mean, variance, standard deviation, and standard error. So you might expect to gain some insight here on how your data is clustering, the skew, the kurtosis. So assumptions we make about data that it is, normal variables or may or may not be accurate, and this is the way to kind of judge some of that. So this is the item statistics report. Then there's the cross tabulation report, and so let's say I want to do is the teacher effective or ineffective relative to the period. And so we can kind of provide this. So remember, we only have 2 periods, so first period generally has a peak around 2 near effective, and 7th period is almost perfectly bimodal around on either side of effective or ineffective. So you have a peak around nearly effective and a peak around nearly ineffective. So great looking data there, so you can take a look and see what's up. Comparative item report. So let's say I want to categorize by period. And so I'm categorizing my report. So important to ignored for period 1 and period 7, 20 respondents, 13 respondents. The mean for period 1 was 2.15, and the mean for period 2 was 2.77. So clearly more into the ignored category for period 7. And I guess I could zoom out a little bit so you could see. So now this is how you can slice back through your data by period and see if there's any trends that you're missing based on the period or differences in your classes. The question mean, given all of the choices we had, where generally do they fall out? Are they above halfway from so important to unimportant, or are they on the other side? So here you might see that our work has generally been too easy. We're clearly over the well, I suppose over the halfway point would be 3, so we're still kind of under the 3.0 average. So people are generally kind. Response report, I think this is for comments where you would like to know how many people are responding or what their responses are. And I think this is going to summarize the region of the report where people are talking about, or where it's verbatim responses. So I suppose I could try this. Let's see, comments 2 I believe is the one. So if I want to see what comments 2 is all about. So Mr. Weisenfeld is a good, fun teacher, and I think if I were to go in and type some of those comments, I would get more data here for my response. So this was actually my typing in, not optical character recognition of someone's writing in the free response part of the survey. That was question report by item. Now this is a response report by respondent. Let's see here if I do that now. Oh, I see. So if you wanted to see what comments were from certain people that took the quiz, you would do a response report by respondent. So I think that's about it for the reports. You can export reports, you can email reports, you can define reports, you can tweak them as you want in this application. And this is the Remark Quick Stats section.